Joining us now at Kobo's Innovation Cafe is Chris Abel. And Chris, I'm glad we're going to be talking about the world's most influential gem show.
Yeah, this is amazing. It's in its 63rd annual year down at Tucson, Arizona, the Gem and Mineral Show. And it is the most influential show around the world. So you can go with a couple $100 and pick up some nice little knickknacks. And then you have men in Armani suits that show up for the 1% that go away with 8-foot-tall amethysts and some of the most remarkable gems in the world. Wow. The Royal Ontario Museum sends a team down every year just to go on a little modest shopping trip to see if they could find something that's new. Because what you're gathering here are wares that come from 30 different countries and around the world. And so they went down to see if they could find something that they had never seen before. Here is Curator of Mineralogy, Kim Tait.
Of course, there's a couple of little goodies that came up. Crystallized talc, of all things, baby powder. You just don't think of that as a beautiful mineral specimen by any means. You think of that as something to put on your body after a shower or something like that. But we did find some beautiful talc specimens, and that's something that we just don't have in our collection because it doesn't happen very often, right? We bought a barite specimen, which almost looks like maple brown sugar, like those maple candies. It just has that sort of textural sugar kind of look. I've never seen those before, and just some odd habit and specimen that just came out this year that we picked up. Cobalt calcite, these really bright pink little jelly tots of calcite, just a really striking color, and I think it'd be really great for our visitors, sort of catch your eye of that color. I bought mineral specimens for my children at $1, so it's everything from $1 to more significant figures than my house. It is such a range.
Now, it's also a research trip for them because this is a chance in one spot to get a snapshot of what's happening around the world in terms of what's coming out of the ground in the mines from different countries. Here is Katherine Dunnell, mineralogy technician.
If you look at our collection and the 100 years of our collection, you'll see that there's certain countries that were doing prolific mining. And because of that, you end up unearthing a specimen or two as well, and they understand the value of mineral specimens. So in the 70s, it was Mexico. Right now, what we're living in is a very big mining boom in China. And so you're seeing a lot of interesting minerals from China on the market. So we're trying to capture that in our collection. I think from the gem perspective, there's been some weird oddities on the market that we've picked up. So opal that fluoresces, because there's just a minute part, a little bit of uranium in them, so they look like uranium glass when you throw them under a really cool light. We bought a mineral specimen a couple years ago. It's nice to have a cut gem with that. Slices of diamond with really weird inclusions was something on our hit list as well, so we purchased one of those. There are some specimens that we saw that have the infamous POR, which is price on request, which is always going to be out of our price range.
That always is out of their price range. Yeah, but fascinating stuff. Now, Gemma Files, the author. She's a double winner. She won the Shirley Jackson and the Sunburst Literary
That's
Awards.
Right.
And you talked to her about an experimental film she's doing?
That's the name of her book, which is one of those awards. And I thought I'd chat with her because she's also a film critic. Given that the Oscars are coming, I thought movies is a good theme. And her book is a fantastic, scary, creepy ghost story about a woman who investigates the first female filmmaker in Canada, only to find out that maybe the films that she made were haunted.
From the beginning, I thought of it as a story about a haunted film, and then the further I got into it, the more interested I became in making it something else. So there is a ghost, but the ghost is not necessarily inside the film. The ghost is kind of attached to the film, but not inside the film. What's inside the film is something else. What's inside the film is indeed a supernaturally horrific creature, which I guess boils down to the two things that scare me are ghosts and gods. Well, horror is my thing. That's where I'm drawn. As Yukio Mishima put it, my heart's yearning has always been for night and death and blood. And that's been pretty much all along the line. Horror is a spectrum like everything else, but horror has always seemed to me to be a more honest genre than a lot of other genres. It's not that I don't like fantasy, it's not that I don't like science fiction, it's not that I don't like romance or, many, many other things, but when ideas come into my head, they always come in dark.
I love that laugh. Now, of course, I did ask her for a favorite book. It's always a tricky question. And she decided to share what she calls a comfort read.
There's a writer named John Connolly who writes a series of mysteries about a PI. These are books that begin with a Red Dragon, Thomas Harris kind of sensibility. But around the fourth or fifth book, you suddenly go, no, we're living in a completely different universe. This is a supernatural universe where there might be evil angels riding around in human bodies. There might be, there actually are. And in the most recent novel called A Time of Torment, there is a small god, much like the second half of my book.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
What's your favorite story? Find it on Kobo.com.
Kobo makes it easier to access the stories you love and discover new ones in an instant. Over 5 million ebooks, a personalized reading experience, and points earned with every purchase. Visit Kobo.com today and open up.